Constitution is null and void. So you can pile on as many laws as you want that in reality violate the Constitution, and those laws are null and void. Even if a whole generation of people have recognized those laws as somehow legitimate, it does not make them so.
Going over to the Constitution, George? You're not answering my question, George, please. Please, George. And the city attorney's not here to answer my questions right now. And you're telling me your policy. No. Hold on.
That's nice.
So your city attorney's saying that your policy supersedes the United States Constitution?
Our policies sound based on the law.
Your policy to demand ID to walk into City Hall is sound.
Yes, sir.
Your security, did you swear an oath to the Constitution? We got a $2 million contract with them, George.
All bets are in. Let's get this started.
What are the deliverables?
They're doing their job.
What are the deliverables?
One, they're not police officers.
Hard for you?
They don't arrest anyone. They're here to provide security, just like every other establishment.
Let's not talk about any other place. Let's talk about right here, because I haven't been in any other government building. It's my first time interacting. But let me share some information with y'all, because
First of all, it's a $10 million security contract with agents who aren't law enforcement, and you're going to let those guys violate the Constitution because you think it's somehow legal?
called ProServe. And I spoke to Carlos, the manager at ProServe.
Another card?
He informed me that, yes, Chris, they did swear an oath to the Constitution.
I see a 9.
They did.
House
And
wins.
if you swore an oath to the Constitution, as you did, right, George? You did, right, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
You too, Chris?
Yes, sir.
The mayor couldn't be more checked out, sitting there looking at his phone, only answering when he hears his name. This guy should be the general for making sure the Constitution is respected. And he's about as apathetic and indifferent as you can get.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about right.
And we're here into the law.
What's the supreme law of the land,
Got
George?
what you came for.
Sir, honestly, I'm not here to debate.
We're not debating. I'm asking you a question.
No, sir.
You just said it's on the law, and I said, what is the supreme law of the United States of America, George?
You want to debate, okay?
Chris, is that a debate or is that a question? Mr. Mayor, is that a debate or is that a question? If you don't know the answer to the question, say I don't know and I'll help you.
I already gave you the answer.
No, what is the supreme law of the United States? Please, George. What was the answer?
The answer is we are sound based on the law and asking for security and ID.
Guest services. Can I help you, sir? Excellent. It's on its way.
I can help you. What is your major concern?
What can we do for you? What can we help you?
Can you stop talking so you allow me to talk?
You did before. Go ahead.
So, when I walked in here, he's demanding ID. Y'all say that ain't violating my Fourth Amendment right?
We'll review it.
Hold on, let me. Every time I get to talking, it ain't him, now it's you. That's what y'all do?
All of them cut you off when you try to tell them the fucking truth, because they always want to cut you off.
After demanding ID, which I know you know that is wrong, Chris, come on. We're walking into people's building to play phone bills and to redress my government. I'm escorted up to the second floor. After I asked, I said, you know what, I know you're I said, I need my ID. I said, won't you just come to that second floor?
Hey, how can I help?
I just want to set up an appointment.
No trouble at all.
I'm the only one that allowed people upstairs. I was like, how about I go to the city clerk? Do you want to go to the city clerk? I said, yeah, man, I see the city clerk. I have all this on video. So, he escorted the other guy, Alan, to school. So, yeah, on the second floor. And I called. No, sir. That's what he called us. I said, it was the first and second floor, and I didn't know at the time. The third floor is open too. The fourth floor is already restricted floor on my correct. So we have 3 floors of public access. ProServe says, I don't know why they would escort you up to the second floor. I said, me either, sir. I said, but I'd like you to find out, because after he escorted me up on the second floor, I run into the mayor's assistant, Jackie. Run right into him.
Hey, boss, how you doing? What?
Our conversation didn't start out too easily either. She asked me, how did I get up there? We just established that the first and second and third floor are public, right? How else would I do it? Walk through the front door, go to the Megatron, push the second floor, come up, right?
Okay, the networks are down, the equipment is ready.
The second floor, we are, right? I wouldn't need a next door, right? But I have one. So, I'm talking to Miss Jackie. She said she's gonna set up the city council meeting and everything, and then come back and then I'll go to talking, and was speaking to him because I wanted to know how he was going to do this Halo law thing.
Now George is going to get on this phone. This is completely disrespectful for a guy who called a meeting with a concern about a clear infringement on his constitutional rights.
Because I had ran into an officer on May the 5th. No, May the 8th. Just a month, 5 months and 8 days until this deadline. And he yelled at me about
George is completely disengaged in this conversation. This is the city manager. If the city manager and the mayor and the police chief don't care about your constitutional rights, do you think any of their underlings will care about your constitutional rights?
recording and harassing is the same thing. And I'm like, well, we're gonna find out how we're gonna do this because I've lived here for 20 years. That sounds a little drastic to me, but I want to leave with you or the leadership here and find out. And I really realized that the city manager is who I needed to go. That's what I didn't know about the time. So that's why HR was trying to direct me this way. So now I'm in there and I'm discussing with Jackie right there on the second floor, right there in the front with the flag hanging over me. I met Mr. Otis and Jamie Hernandez that day too. Just sitting there because y'all can have your meeting. Security is hovering right there. And I realized what are you here for? I'm just here to hang out. I said, well, you sure you here to hang out? Yeah, hang out. I said, no, man. I said, well, I said, you know this camera phone. So I should just walk away right now. So, don't do what you're doing. I'm talking to the mayor's assistant and I'm good. I got what I need. And you talking about you just here to hang out. So I go to your assistant. I said, hey, you have a place where we can go talk? She said, yeah, I got an office on the fourth floor. I said, curious. So I don't need this man in my business. And he jumps up right up on me from me to my hat. Standing there and his gun is on my side. I'm like, sir, do me a favor. I don't feel comfortable with you around me with your weapon because I don't think you know anything about my rights. I'm in the people's house. I went through your Megatron. I'm not armed. I'm not a disturbance. I'm not anything. I'm not Miss Jackie. No, you're not. I said, well, to all. I said, Miss Jackie, you have domain over your office. So he ain't coming, right? No, he ain't coming. I get on the elevator. He jumps on the elevator. Oh, he has a post up there, Miss Jackie. I said, it's fine. Let him go to his post or wherever his job's taking him because I'm not his job. Walking out the elevator, he's right up on me. I said, yeah, man, I'm doing everything, the supervisor, everything. So he gives me Claude Samuels and Carlos. And I said, write it down for me. I'm going to the man's office and, I'll come back and I'll get this information from you because what you're doing right now ain't cool. You're trying to chill my First Amendment with your gun with this intimidation. So we get to the door, which has a beep. Miss Jackie says, I'm good, he's good, you good. We open the door. I get ready to walk. I get a video of this bitch. He's up on me. I mean, up on me. I'm like, can you let the door go, my man? He's steady holding the door. Miss Jackie, he's good, we good. He's steady. The door like closing. He's steady grabbing. 3 times. I'm like, just let it go. Because I'm not moving until you let this door close. Because I'm not dealing with you no more. You all up on me with your firearm. I don't understand what you're doing. I really don't. It doesn't matter. So I got to that. Speaking to Miss Jackie, she told me, she said, you know, I go back downstairs. And I'm looking at Mark Jackson, who he said his name was. He wouldn't identify himself. He called himself Mark Jackson. His name is Claude Samuels, correct?
I don't know who you're referring to exactly, but we do have a plot works.
Yeah, he said, he said his name was Mark Jackson when I first asked him. He was asking me for his ID and I asked him for his name to go to the city clerk. My name, Mark Jackson. Okay, Mark Jackson, cool. But Alan Pierce said he gave me his real name and everything, the correct name. He's the one that at the front that's demanding.
Now why they don't go to jail for lying? They can just lie and get away with lying. That's why you can't trust the fucking police officer. Some bitch always be lying.
In compliance with the law. You have 3 unconstitutional signs you have in the lobby saying that we couldn't use our phones in the lobby. Y'all agree with that? Those 3 signs? Because Claude said they had been there 30 years, and that's amazing. I don't think we had cell phone cameras for 30 years. But, to be what he said, and that's what he said. So I came back down. And General Hernandez, who's no longer here, did the right thing. He took the signs down. Took them down off the wall because that is our Constitution. You can't tell me I cannot use my cell phone in a public lobby. What am I missing? Am I missing something here, Chris?
Well, you said it was 3 now.
3. 1 on right here, and then 2 on the wall.
3 sides.
Yeah, 3 signs. Yeah, 3 signs. No, I feel about it. But he took them down. So after I get finished coming down on the 21st. Yeah, Mr. Jackson, I come down to ask him about, still signing everything. I'm flashing his name and everything. He said, I don't fly around. He said, I don't fly around. I asked him, I said, did you mention name? I said, I wanted to write his name down because every piece of paper I had his jacket name on it. Devin, Helen, Chief's email on it, different, she didn't even go, I'm just giving it over back and forth and everything. So I had all this information, so I was actually able to give him this information. Right in front of him, stuff in his hand, where he don't do no word, all of this. So 24th, I found out. Because I haven't gotten anything. And I was coming to file a public record request to get this contract right here between you guys and Pro Service. That's why I know it's a $10 million contract for 5 years. And we fired Blue Shield coming in at the lowest bidder at 8. And we fired them because they wouldn't give it the deliveries, right? Yeah. So I'd like to make a public record request for that firing the deliverables and they wouldn't give us the deliverables for Pro Service. So I come in on the 24th. Bob Jackson, if you understand, and he has the sign. Back so, see, Paul said, because Jamie's over there, correct?
Yeah, Jamie was the emergency man. So.
Jamie was over there, sir, right? And then they kicked down to you, right, Chris? All right. Jamie took down the sign.
Now this is where the video ends. I'm hoping that Warren will do an update on this to let us know exactly what the outcome of this meeting was. But the bottom line is that not one of these city leaders, we were talking about the police chief, the city manager, and the mayor, not one of them cares about constitutional rights, and not one of them called out George here when George said, hey, it's a law, it's a policy. We recognize it as a law and a policy.
Hello?
And even though he didn't say this law and this policy in this public building supersedes the Constitution of the United States, which means if you walk into this public building, in their minds, you've lost your constitutional rights because now you have to obey their law instead of them upholding your rights in this public building, this taxpayer-funded building. I'm going to write a post under this video right here. What was the outcome of this meeting? Because I don't know, but the bottom line is they aren't interested in the Constitution in Hollywood, Florida. We were talking about the Hollywood, Florida city leaders. And I wish I could say that this level of indifference and apathy toward a resident's concern that constitutional rights are being violated, I wish I could say that that was rare. But this is basically the rule rather than the exception. This is how city leaders view you. You have no rights when you come into our domain. They claim it's their domain, even though they're supposed to be the public servants, even though the building that they're operating out of was funded by extorting local residents to make sure that that building is built and maintained. These heartless, unconstitutional, tyrannical a-holes prove by their policies, procedures, and actions that they don't give a damn about you. They only care about themselves. They care about their $10 million contracts. They care about their kids' jobs and the prestige that they're going with it. They don't care about Warren Sapp. They don't care about or even in the town that you live in whatever state you live in. If I hear about an update on what happened with this meeting and what the result was, I would definitely let you know. In the meantime, I'll leave the link to Warren's video in the description. If you visit him, let him know that here's the deal sent you. Let me know what you think about this. What is the supreme law of the land? And what should be done to those city leaders who violate the
Should be fired.
in preference for their policies and their procedures? If you want to help this channel grow, you can do it.